Welcome everyone, it's my daily vlog channel, Eric B's Daily Vlogs. And this morning we had quite a scare. We open our patio every morning to let Jax, the dog, out and run around the patio. And a big, fat bee came in. And we spent a good 20 minutes trying to get it out. I didn't want to kill it because it was really big and I didn't want all that stuff crushed in our apartment. And when I turned around, opened the patio really wide, it was gone. So hopefully it flew out. We're on our way to San Bruno to go watch a movie. It was a pick that Elias did for his birthday. We never got to watch it. But today, we're gonna go watch The Beast and the Beauty. All right, having lunch at Five Guys. Trying to make the 12:50 show, but if you look across the way over there, there's a lot of people, and for some reason they're doing advanced seating tickets now, so you have to buy the tickets and pick the seats you want to sit. And we always like sitting all the way in the back, and for the 12:50 show those were gone, so we have to wait an hour for the 1:50 show. That's what happens when we wake up late. But we're here, we're gonna have lunch and then go watch The Beast and the Beauty because this girl wanted to.
What else can you watch? Anything that's already out. Anything that works. I wanted to watch Reservoir Dogs. You should have watched it instead of Kill Bill since you watched it already. We could watch all week.
Inside the theater, getting ready to watch Beauty and the Beast. Let you know how it is when we're done. Just watched Beauty and the Beast, the live action. Never watched the animated series, so I don't know how that was, so I can't compare the two, but this one was pretty good. Definitely recommended. Go check it out. Those girls back there liked it. They were singing the whole time. So watching Beauty and the Beast made me... Now remember, this is the first time I watched it. I never watched the animated series just because I wasn't big on the animation part when, you know, back then, even though it's a classic. But watching it this time made me realize, like, how many of us judges people on the way they look? And if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, so no spoiler alert. But again, how many of us judge a person on the way they look? Come to find out later on that they're not as bad as they look, or they're a lot friendlier than what they first appeared to be. I mean, how many of us do that? I know a lot of us are guilty on doing that. I'm definitely one of them, you know, and I don't like judging people on the way they're dressed, the way they look, because I know outside of that or inside of that, their personality is definitely different than what we expect them to be. But that movie you know, like I said, it kind of opened my eyes on a little topic that we all do, especially living in a big city like we do. We judge people by the way they look. We judge people on the way they're dressed, the car they drive, but we don't really know the real truth about them, the inside, what they have. You know, there's people that I know who they look homeless, they dress homeless, but then they have a better house than I do. You know, that's just how they want to dress. They want to dress that way. So yeah, so there's no way that we should sit here judging anybody on the way they look, you know, and right now with the world and what the world's going through with terrorists and, you know, everybody judging someone on their nationality, their race, because of the not my president that we have in the White House. There's a reason why we judge. There's a reason why we look at someone and we think of something right away that we shouldn't be thinking. I grew up, you know, judging everybody by their individual character, you know, them getting to know them for who they are. And then if it's someone that later on I don't want to, you know, associate myself with, then I won't. I won't associate myself with them. And that's how we as a society should be. You know, it's like get to know the person and it's up to you whether you want to stay an associate with that person or not. It's up to you whether you want to stay friends with that person or not. And, you know, there's a lot of things to me where you'd be my friend. You know, there's a lot of trust and honesty for me to actually let you in to my world. And if I can get that trust, have you be honest with me, then you know what, that we'll take it the next step further after that. There's a reason why we're called individuals, because we're all individually different. You know, if you're one of those people that because this person bought the new pair of shoes, you want to get it, that's just because that's the fad. That's what's going on. That's the reason why you want it. But if you're going to copy someone's look, copy someone's style, then you're not an individual. You're a copycat. We're individuals. We're all different. You know, we want a funk style every now and then. We want to wear mix match clothes every now and then just because that's how we feel. That's how we are as individuals. But you can't judge us because of the way we're dressed. You can't judge us because of the way we look. You can't judge us because of the color, the nationality, my background, or where I'm from. You know, you have to judge us for the person that we are inside. Speak to me, talk to me, get to know me. If you don't like me after that, then move on. You know, keep moving forward with what other things you want to move with or you want to talk about. But we're full of judgment when it comes to an individual. We have a lot of judgmental thoughts when it comes to what we think about a certain individual, whether it's a culture, whether it's a race, whether it's a nationality. We always like to judge, and trust me, there's a lot of lovely people out there. There's a lot of beautiful people out there. And there's a lot of cultures out there that I can tell you right now that I've learned to love, to embrace, to be part of my life. These are people that I work with. These are people that I've gotten to know throughout the years. But yes, this movie, not only is it about a beauty and then a person turning into a beast, if you get the real truth of the story is you can't judge anybody by the way they look. And for everyone who watched the movie, from the animation to the live action now, that's the bottom line of the story. And, you know, I got it right away. You can't judge anybody right away by the way they look. You can't judge anybody by their character. You got to judge them by the person who they are. And if they can't change, they'll never change. Don't try to change them. You know, they need to see for themselves that if they're going to be an asshole, that's what they're going to be. They're going to be an asshole. You can't change them. You have to let them realize that, hey, you're being a D-head right now. Let them realize they're being a D-head. Let them realize they're being an asshole. And when they realize that, maybe later on they'll come back and they'll want to be your friend again. But if they're not in your life, they're not your friends. Don't worry about it. Keep moving forward. That's the whole motto. All right, guys. Rain, cloudy skies, as you can tell. Church bell just rang. Gave me the 6 o'clock ring. I'm going to end this vlog, guys. Vlog is ended. Go in peace. Remember, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a person by the way they look.